Hi everyone, I'm back for another episode of Let's Talk About It with Emanuela Lukac, former football player from Australia and the youngest sports agent ever. Emanuela, thank you for coming on the podcast today. I'm so
Thank
excited
you
to
for
talk with
having
you.
me.
I want to get started on just talking about your process to become an agent. You were a football player before, you're 19. What led you to become an agent?
So last year I came to Barcelona, where I'm currently based, for about a month of football training. I really tried to immerse myself as much as I could in the game and in the industry, and I had some really excellent agents that organized by the end of the month, we had a really great connection. We had quite a few conversations, and they ended up offering me a job contract to come back, and they were.
It sounds like you really took the opportunity that was ahead of you beyond just going and playing, but also learning and setting yourself up for a future. Maybe becoming an agent wasn't what was in your head when you were first leaving for Spain. Can you talk a little bit about why you wanted to become an agent?
It wasn't something that necessarily popped into my head, when I was on the way over on the plane for 24 hours, or before I left the country, but certainly afterwards. I left with an opportunity to look at being an agent, and to look at how I could make a successful career path in this industry. And maybe it wasn't where I originally thought it to be, but it was something even greater for me. And for me, this gives me such a purpose to be able to work for athletes and work with athletes, and to try and help them progress in their careers, even, you know, the 1% getting 1% better every day type of thing.
We met working at Voice in Sport, working on, institutional change across the globe for athletes and wanting to make it better. So I'm actually not surprised at all that you wanted to become an agent after you finished your playing career. Can you talk a little bit about what motivates you as an agent?
Certainly. I think growing up, seeing the disparities between men's and women's teams from the grassroots level all the way up to the professionals. And secondly, now that I am in the industry, and the experiences I had growing up, I want to leave the game better than I found it, and I want to be able to fight for and advocate for my players each and every day, and to make sure that they understand their rights, and what can and can't be tolerated in regards to making the game better, in regards to professionalizing the women's game, these sorts of things.
Yeah, so I've talked about this with athletes before, like the networking and mentorship is so important as athletes, but also as professionals. But it's super hard, especially when you're so young and you haven't experienced it before. I know it is for me. So you're 19 and you're an agent. How has your age come into play? Have you experienced any anxiety over your age or had, any hard times with that?
One of those moments for me was certainly walking into the FIFA exam room on football agent license exam day. I remember walking in, being the youngest person in the room, and also seeing only 3 or 4 other women in the room during this particular exam, and just having to come back to myself and remember, okay, you're capable, you know this, you've studied, it's not an easy exam by any means. I know the industry. I love this sport, my passion for this sport, and just coming back to that and reminding myself of that, because I know that I can do this job, and at the end of the day, confidence is what it comes down to.
Can you talk a little bit about how you're able to handle the pressure of trying to build a business for yourself?
I miss my family sometimes, but I understand that, you know, living 16,000 kilometers away from home, and and chasing a big dream, like big dreams require sacrifice, and I'm gonna go after this with everything I've got, and whatever will be at the end of the day. But I'm just gonna keep going, and keep muddling through my valleys, and keep enjoying my hills.
What advice would you give to someone wanting to go down a similar path?
We're young, and we've got so much time in this life, in this world, that if you really want to try something, or even if you're not sure about what your goals are, and where you want to head next in your career, I think you can always try it. For me, something that I always take with me is always ask, and the worst that someone can say is no. And if they don't say no, then you've opened another door for yourself, and you've made yourself another opportunity. So you just go after it, and you continue each day and you work hard, and then eventually you get to where you want to be.
I love that. All right. Thank you for coming on today. I know that this helped so many people. And we'll see you guys next time on Let's Talk About It. Hey guys, it's Sydney. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Talk About It. If you did, make sure to leave a review and send it to a friend. Let's keep this conversation going. I'll see you guys next week.